If I was starting a general contractor business, this is how I would do it. Half of you that are watching this video just got your license and are brand new to construction, and the other half have probably been in construction for some time and you just got your general contractor's license and you're just starting your own business. Welcome to entrepreneurship, where you're gonna go from working 40 hours a week in your previous job to working 60 and 80 hours per week in your own business. Now, I'm a business owner and I wouldn't have it any other way. When you own your own business, you're gonna make more money, you're gonna be responsible for your own time, and you're gonna be responsible for your own success. And most importantly, you own it and it's your own legacy and it's something that you could be proud of. You're not working in somebody else's business making somebody else rich. You're gonna make yourself rich. Let me tell you something, construction is one of the only industries that I know that you can literally not have experience, or you can know almost nothing about construction and in a few years take your business to crazy levels. I know somebody who actually went to film school. They went to go become a video editor, professional video editor, and for some reason it didn't work out for them and they got into construction and eventually started his own business, and now he's doing several $1 million a year in sales. Believe it or not, this is something that's doable. It's duplicatable. You can do it in your business. Now, just so you know, in the state of Florida, which is where I live, I am a licensed general contractor. So what I'm teaching you, I went through this not too long ago, less than 10 years ago, to become a general contractor. So what I'm gonna share with you is literally firsthand how I did it and how I've helped clients take their businesses to millions of dollars a year using these exact strategies. So the story is, when I first started in the construction industry, I actually went to school for architecture. So I started off as an architect, and a few years later, I decided that I wanted to become a general contractor and get my license and have basically like what you're trying to do, grow your business, start your company, and take it to the next level. So I went to go work for a general contractor to go learn as a superintendent. And eventually on the job, I started meeting the subcontractors and I become friends with one of the drywall subs, and he eventually recruits me. When I go work for him, I had no idea how small their company was. At the time, they were actually just giving labor to other drywall companies. And he kind of convinced me to come over because he had a $20 million vision. He said, he's this like tall Uruguayan guy with like a deep voice. And he's like, Daniel, I want to take my business to $20 million and I need someone like you to help me. His name is Paulo. So I decided to go with him. When I walked in the door, I had no clue how small they were and I was freaking out. And I realized that I needed to make this work and I needed to help him grow the business. So him and I hustled to figure out how to grow the business, how to get leads, how to estimate the project, how to negotiate them, how to take the business to the next level, how to grow it. Like, he was a framer and I was a project manager, superintendent guy. I wasn't a sales guy. I wasn't an estimator. And we eventually took the business from zero, because they were just giving labor, so he didn't have his own projects. They went from zero to $7 million a year in 2 years. Isn't that amazing? And I eventually go on and start my own company, I Am Builders, to help contractors grow their business through estimating and eventually through sales. And over the last few years, I've had the privilege of working with over 3,000 contractors nationwide. So I get to see on a national level what everybody's doing, the winners and the losers. So I get to see what everybody's doing that's really working in 2023, 2024 and on. So if I was starting a general contractor company, a general construction business, this is literally step-by-step what I would do right now. And this is what I'm advising all my clients every single day inside of my coaching programs. And I got a little surprise for you. At the end of this video, my very last step is my secret weapon that I've used that's responsible for selling hundreds of millions of dollars in construction projects. So if you wanna know what that secret is, you gotta watch till the end. So step zero, and I say zero because it's kind of like a prerequisite. You have to get your licenses and insurances in order. And if you're gonna become a general contractor, in a lot of counties and states, you're gonna need to be licensed. So go get your test done, go do all that stuff. And I'm not gonna spend any time on it because that's a simple phone call to your local building department and your local insurance agent. Now, the next steps I'm gonna talk about are revenue producing activities. So in your business, even before your license, I would recommend to start bidding jobs, because what we're gonna do is we're gonna build what is called a pipeline. We're gonna, I want you to think of a pipe, right? This is like a sales 101 basically. You're gonna put in jobs in the front end, and then there's like a sales cycle that you're gonna be following up. They're gonna be getting permits. They're gonna be getting their own financing to get the jobs done. And on the other end, you're gonna get some of those jobs are gonna get awarded to you. And that sales cycle for a general contractor is typically longer than for maybe like subcontractors. So step one is gonna be what I call do the master list. The master list is a strategy that I use every single day with my clients to find out what projects are out there literally hidden in their phone. Where's my phone? Here. Hidden in their phone that they can literally scoop up, they can pick up like that. One time I was looking through our CRM. We used to log all the contacts for all the people that we would bid for, or we would get invitations to bid. We just tracked them all and just to have them there in the list, but we weren't doing anything with it. So one day I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna drum up some business. Let me see what I can do. So I started calling, I called person number one. Hey, this is Daniel. I'm interested in working with you guys. We've bid some projects in the past. Do you guys have some jobs coming up? Oh, no, we don't have anything right now, but we'll let you know. So I heard that over and over and over. Oh, we'll let you know. Oh yeah, let me get you with my project management team. Oh, let me get you with my estimating team. A lot of times it was the secretaries that would answer the phone or the office managers, and they didn't really know what was going on in terms of the bidding. So they didn't know. So they would just pass on the information. So I think I went through like 10 or 15 names when I run into this name called By His Grace Construction. And I'm a Christian, so like the name popped out at me. I don't know. Maybe it was meant to be. So I called them up and I got the same story. Oh, I'll let you know. Let me forward you to the PMs. So that night, or maybe it was the next day, I get a phone call from JC, who was a project manager, and he tells me, hey Daniel, we just started a project. I finished my demo, but I don't have a drywall contractor. I need a bid ASAP. Can you get me a bid like tomorrow? So I go to my estimator. I'm like, hey Gene, can you estimate the job for me? He's like, oh, I'm too busy. I could probably do it like in a week and a half. And I'm like, are you crazy? This is hot. Like, this is burning hot. And I go to my boss and I'm like, hey, I've never used the estimating template. Can you help me? He's like, no, I'm kind of busy. I got a lot of things to do today. I knew how to do takeoffs because I would do them in my change orders, but I really didn't know how to estimate using their templates, the ones that the company had set up. But I said, you know what, screw it. I'm going to take a chance. I did the takeoff and I calculated about $400,000, right? So believe it or not, this is my first takeoff and I'm like doing this, right? I'm like, oh, I hope I don't make this business go. I hope I don't bankrupt us. It's kind of where I was at. I submit the proposal. I walk the job with the project manager. Everything's good. And he tells me, listen, I'm going to award you guys the job, but I need to meet your boss because he's the owner and I haven't met him yet. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like, oh crap. I hope I did a good job. Like, I hope I don't get fired. So he comes, we walk the job. And then after, he tells me, again, deep Uruguayan accent, Daniel, el trabajo estaba bien cobrado, which translates to the job was well priced, which means I did a good job and I didn't get fired. Yay! So we won a $400,000 contract using what I call the master list. And so one of my clients, Matt Hensley from Arizona, he's a plumbing contractor. He left his company. He was a vice president of some company in some plumbing company or something. And he left his company to start his own business, kind of like what you're going to do. And I taught him this master list concept. He's one of my coaching clients. I taught him this. And he actually takes a weekend, he makes a list, and he implemented everything I taught him. And he gets his first 5 projects like that. Boom, 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 fast. Then that kind of puts him on the radar with his supplier. His supplier's name is Ferguson. There's this big national chain. And they invite him to a networking event in Las Vegas. So he goes to Las Vegas, he meets a bunch of GCs. And of course, I asked him, I go, how much business did you guys actually talk? And he goes, I didn't talk any business, maybe 5 minutes. The rest we were partying and drinking. And I'm like, all right. And he comes back and all these new contacts with developers and GCs, they start sending him invitations to bid and he starts bidding them. But now here's the thing. These are people that were his like warm audience. Like they became his warm contacts, his warm sales list, or maybe not even warm, maybe hot, because he built that relationship with them. So the master list is going to allow you to utilize, it's going to leverage the relationships that you currently have so you could bid jobs. And in a period of about 10 months, he landed $20 million in contracted work. And he's doing home tracks. Like he'll get a contract of like $5 million to do the plumbing for like 100 houses or something like that. So he's doing big stuff. But it all started because he used the master list strategy. So how do you do it? So you go through your phone and you just jot down on an Excel all the phone numbers of everybody that you know in construction. Every worker, every superintendent, every project manager, every previous employee, every previous client, everybody, right? You just make this like master list. And it should be pretty easy for you to make a list of 50 to 100 names and phone numbers. And then what you're gonna do is you're gonna grab your phone and you're gonna say, hey John, how are you? This is Daniel, how's it going? You're gonna have a little bit of small talk. And then you're gonna say, I'm expanding my business and I wanted to talk to you about working with you guys. What projects do you guys have coming up? And then what's gonna happen is if they're in a position to give you an invitation to bid, right there, you might call a superintendent or a project manager and they're gonna say, hey, look, here you go. I'm actually working on these 3 jobs. And boom, that's a warm lead. Because in construction, the way you win jobs is either through your price, your relationships, or your reputation. And if you already know these guys, you already have a relationship and you have a reputation. So price is gonna be less of a factor. Whenever you're talking to new people, price is like the main factor. That's why everybody has to be the low bidder. But when you're talking to hot leads or hot clients or previous leads that you've worked with before, they already know you, they like you, and they trust you. So they're gonna give you the best shot, and they might even give you all the inside information for you to win that job. Now, the next thing you're gonna do is you're gonna go prospecting to architecture firms. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna make a portfolio. You're gonna make one of these guys, and I recommend vinyl. So one day a client of mine, He is a concrete restoration guy. He comes to my office and we have a meeting about one of his projects, and he brings this. And I was so impressed that this became part of my teachings to general contractors. So what you do is you can hire a graphic designer to make you like a trifold, but it's vinyl. So like if you look at it, it's not cheapy paper, it's vinyl. So it makes you not want to throw it away. And what you want to do is, like, this guy did a really good job of making it look very concretey because he does concrete restoration. But what you would do is hire a graphic designer to do like high-end, put pictures of your previous work here. I would, put descriptions. I would put maybe the resume of the projects that you've done, maybe some high-profile projects that you've done, stuff like that on the inside. Then you go to architecture firms and you introduce yourself. But you don't just walk in. There's a strategy behind it. Let me show it to you. So this is Dodge. Dodge is a lead platform where if you're a general contractor, it's a really good resource to find developers and architects that need their projects bid. So these guys have teams of researchers that they go out and they find projects in every single county. So like, for example, what I'm gonna do, if I'm a general contractor, this is what I would do. I'm gonna come in here, I'm gonna log in, and I have a national account with these guys. So if you get an account, you're likely just gonna have your area. So what I'm gonna do is, let's say I'm gonna look for Miami, right? Let's say I wanna find, I'm a GC, I'm gonna go to Miami, Florida. Let's put Dade County, and let's put Broward County, which is my area. Broward, where are you? Right there, boom. On the left, you could see the filters. I'm gonna go and I'm gonna start putting action stage. I wanna put pre-design, I wanna put design, and I wanna put bidding, right? I'm gonna look for that. Then I'm gonna put, let's see, bid results. We don't need bid, okay, we're just gonna leave that open there. And then I'm gonna keep going down. And if you want, you can start filtering like by the building type. What I like to do is I like to keep it under general building and housing. And then I uncheck these because these have like underground utilities and things like that. And I wouldn't care for those. Then I'm gonna keep going down and I'm going to look at the valuation. And I'm probably gonna put a maximum of like $5 million. I'm not gonna put more than that because it's gonna be too big and they're not gonna consider you, and it's gonna be a little bit of a waste of time for you to bid these jobs anyway. And then lastly, ownership type. You have the option if you want like private jobs or federal or whatever it is. If you're just starting out, private, and then I would say you can start moving into federal and government type jobs once you get a little bit of experience in the game. Maybe not too much because it's the same thing. It's just the way the bidding process is a little bit more stringent. But if you're just getting started, I would stick with private if you're just trying to expand your business and run it. So I'm going to start looking at the names of these projects. Actually, I want to look at the valuation too. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to look for through this. I'm going to look through these projects and I'm going to look at the valuation. So the valuation is going to tell me the very high level rough estimate of what they expect this project to cost. And you got to consider, like, nobody's going to give you like a $10 million job starting out. They're not going to do that. They'll give you a $500,000 job. They'll give you maybe a $2 million job if it's not too complicated. They might. So if we're starting out, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it less than $1 million. So I'm going to put my valuation less than $1 million. And then I'm going to put bidding in the next 31 days. So if you notice, all of these are bidding and they're also going to be in the design stages. Make sure we put them pre-design. Perfect. Let's make sure that they're all selected. All right, perfect. So all these jobs are going to be in the bidding stages or in the design stages. So now I'm going to come in here and I'm going to look up like, all right, Cannon Point Infill Homes. So I like that job. Fire alarm. No, I'm not going to do that. DOT, Heartland Medical Office. This is good. 200 to 300,000. So that means it's probably a refresh. So let's check this out. So sometimes they'll have the plans in here. Oh, look, they have the plans. So we can look at the plans. I can come over here. I can click. I can see, oh, it's a tiny little tenant build out. This is perfect. So what am I going to do? I am going to go to the plan holders. This is a general contractor. So we don't want that. We're going to find the architecture firm. So we got the owner, which is Heartland Dental. We got the architect. Boom. Here's my contact right over here. I'm going to find their address, which they're in Georgia. So, okay. So this is a case where I'm in Miami. I'm not going to fly to Georgia to meet this guy. But if he was local, I would drop in with my portfolio that we talked about. And I would say, hey, I'm here to see Brad. Oh yeah, do you have an appointment? No, I just wanted to come real quick. I'm going to be bidding the Heartland Dental job and I just wanted to meet him real quick. So usually you're going to get at least 2 minutes, like a 60-second, like, hey, shake their hand, meet them, drop off portfolio. Boom. And if they're too busy or they're out of the office or whatever it is, just drop off the portfolio and let them put like a little post-it or a note that says that this is for Brad. And then put a little note like, hey, I came by to meet you. I'm bidding your job. And then do that over and over and over. So that's if it was a local guy. Now, since this guy's not local, I'm going to pick up my phone and I'm going to call him and I'm going to say, hey, I want to bid this job what's the process to get involved with you guys? And then boom, he's gonna tell me what I need to do. Maybe there's pre-qualification paperwork or whatever it is. And now step number 3 is I would offer budget estimating and consulting to architecture firms and developers. So I've been in the construction industry for quite a while now, and I've seen firsthand how designers and interior designers, architects, developers, they don't know anything about pricing. So what often happens is they'll spend weeks and months and maybe even years designing these projects, and then they get their permits, and when they get their bids back, then they're over budget, like way over budget. And then there's like an emergency, they gotta go back, value engineer, they gotta cut prices, and it becomes a headache. And that's when you see like the revisions and addendums and all that stuff coming in. I have actually a colleague of mine, a friend of mine, that recently he started going out as a GC, visiting these architecture firms, and he was offering budget estimating and consulting to architecture firms. And the pitch is, hey, let me help you find errors in your plans, mistakes, because I'm a builder, so I know what to look for and I know how to build these things. So let me find mistakes and issues, almost like an owner's rep, before you start. And also, let me help you budget these projects before you have final set of plans. So he went out and he goes out there and he's added millions of dollars in his bottom line because of doing this one strategy. And by the way, if you do want to implement the strategy and you don't know how to estimate a conceptual set, that's actually one of the things that we do. We do it for GCs, for subs, and for architecture firms and developers. So we can help you with those bids. Now, the true benefit of doing this is Maverick Construction, he actually is securing work on the back end with zero competition. So he's getting the architects in the front, doing the consulting for them, giving them tips and suggestions on how to make their designs better for the owner and better for the end results. He's offering them budget estimates. And then what happens at the end, he gets the contract. He doesn't have to fight and negotiate and this and that. And guess who this guy is? This is the same guy that I talked about earlier that went to film school to become a video editor. Now he's an expert consultant in construction, and it's all because of this strategy. Now, earlier in the video, I talked about my secret weapon. Now, this is the weapon of weapons. This is the weapon of mass destruction in construction. Like if you are starting out and you're wanting to grow your business and you want to take your business to the next level, this strategy is responsible for tens and hundreds of millions of dollars for my clients every single year. And I want to share it with you. I normally only share this inside of my membership site where I do all the training on the estimating and the negotiating, but I'm gonna share a little quick glimpse of this so that you can start doing it yourself. Now, what is this secret weapon? It's called bidding packages. What is a package? A package is bidding multiple trades as a subcontractor where you're gonna actually manage the project as a GC. It's gonna give you a nasty closing rate where you're likely gonna win something or the entire package. And it's the difference between winning a $50,000 contract and a $500,000 contract. Here's how it works. You're gonna create a DBA or a doing business as under your main GC company, and it's gonna be something like Quindamel Contracting or something like that that sounds very subcontractor-y, right? And you're gonna submit projects as a subcontractor, but you're actually gonna manage them as a GC. I'm a very big believer that when you're starting out, we need cash flow, we need money in the bank. So what we wanna do is we wanna bid as a sub and as a GC. So while you're getting your GC side of the business going, we're gonna also be working as a subcontractor. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna get this new DBA like Quindamel Contracting or whatever name you wanna give it, and you're gonna reach out to other GCs and you're gonna ask to bid trades that sequentially go together. So for example, demo, framing, drywall, and installation. That goes sequentially together. Or drywall, paint, and flooring. So if you notice, you're kind of bidding like a package. And the trick is, here's actually the ninja trick. What you're gonna do is you're gonna submit the prices separately because every GC wants to see what their framing price is, what their drywall price is, what their paint price is. They wanna separate it. But then what you're gonna do is you're gonna actually put on the bottom of your proposal in big bold red letters, if multiple trades are awarded, then a significant discount will be provided. Boom, that's the trick right there. This is exactly what I did for one of my clients. We were actually doing a Camping World and it was like a finishes refresh, like an update. And for him, it was perfect because it's a small job. It's not too big. It was only like a $30,000 or $40,000 contract. He wanted to do the demo, the framing, the drywall, the paint, and it had some acoustical seatings and things like that. So we get in, we submit the proposal, we break it down, the demo, the framing, the drywall, we break it down like the GCs always wanted. And we put the line about the discount in the bottom. I call the project manager to negotiate. And the first thing out of her mouth was, what is the discount that you're proposing? And I said, I'm glad you asked. So what happens is, I asked her, what's your framing number? What's your drywall number? What's your demo number? What's your paint number? So she basically showed her hand and she was thinking, oh man, I'm gonna get the upper hand because they're gonna give me a better price than all these guys. I said, hey, if you give me a package, I don't need to charge as much for supervision, overhead, profit. I can actually slice off all those numbers and give you a massive discount. And then I said, so I need a target to shoot for. So what's your framing number? What's your drywall number? What's your paint number? So she told me all the numbers. And then I went back into my estimate. I went to see if I could tweak some of the numbers. And here's the thing. if you're bidding on these jobs and you're submitting, let's say 10,000 for this, 10,000 for that, 10,000, that 10,000 has to pay your salary, it has to pay your supervisor salary, it has to pay your overhead, all that. So there's a lot of like money in there that's not really necessary. It's not a job cost. However, if they bundle, your value goes from 20 or 30,000 to like 70, 80, maybe 100,000. Now your profit goes from, let's say you were gonna make 5 grand to over here, you're gonna make 20 grand, plus you had supervision on each line item. You're basically gonna combine, there's a lot of overlap there, so you could cut money. So what do we do? I was able to cut costs, I was able to save the money, and boom, right away she sent us a contract. And it's funny because they think, when you do this, they think that they're like this expert negotiator, like, oh, I'm gonna get a great discount. And what happens is you literally could be a terrible negotiator and still win with this strategy, because it's a win-win-win for everybody. They want a better deal, they don't wanna coordinate as many trades, you wanna get a package, you wanna get multiple trades, so it's a win-win. So this is how you partner up with your future clients. So up to this point, we've gotten leads, we've estimated the job, we've won some contracts, and now the next thing that we need to look at is the operations of your business, AKA the actual construction. In this video coming up, I'm gonna show you how to run your operations and how to run a successful general contracting company. Go ahead and watch that video.